And we are live, Steve. We are live, Steve.
That's good to know.
It's usually good to know. Yes, you are correct.
Because it's kind of funner to talk live than it is to, do it off
To
air.
talk to no one.
Well, we do that anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even when we pre-recorded, I didn't feel like we were talking to no one.
Well, I like live better.
You do?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I should probably. Richard's not here to monitor the chat tonight. Should I do that?
Should you monitor the chat?
Sure.
I don't know if that's a good idea for you.
Well, let me go try.
I don't know how well it works, Steve.
Well, I haven't even looked at the chat in like 2-3 months now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Right there. I should have just clicked on that. It says live now. Okay, so I'll click on that. It might actually play for a second. Well, I'll just stop it. We'd actually have to have people in. Oh, there he is. I found the chat.
You found it?
And there's already people in there too.
There's usually people in there.
Yeah, nice.
Every time I record.
Right.
Anyway, welcome, few people. It is episode 160 of the Fortean Slip.
Wait.
Oh, dear fucking Jesus.
The best comment in the chat ever.
Oh, God, I'm going to fucking
Valerie says I'm sexy as fuck.
I want to commit suicide right now.
Is this why I wasn't allowed to look at the chat? Is that it?
No, this isn't why you weren't allowed to look at the chat. It just makes me want to commit suicide.
I think you should go look and see what Valerie had to say, because I think she's got one.
Listen, Steve, I do monitor the chat. So, anywho, we've been doing this for 4 years, Steve. 4 long, tiring years.
Yeah, we have.
It's been an interesting time, all in all. But in case anyone hasn't noticed, my give a fuck button has not been present for a while.
A while? 4 years. You've never had a give a fuck button.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the past couple of years, almost couple of years. I fell out of touch with it for a while. I've tried to hold on to it, but at this point, Sunday evenings are like a fucking pity fuck for me.
Uh-oh.
And I've been wrestling with it for a while now, trying to figure out how to fucking get my head back into it. I think a lot of it has to do with the production value that we lost, which kind of bums me out. But I don't have the time to fuck with anything anymore. And I don't have the setup that I used to have. I don't have the space that I used to have. I don't have anything that I used to have.
Literally nothing that you used to have.
Yeah. So I've slowly been and I haven't done shit with the fucking blog, which irritates the piss out of me because I built that blog and it was doing really well. And then it petered off, but I was still holding on to it, still getting good views on the blog, and it all just fell to shit. But as Richard would say, well, but you persevered, and perseverance is so much to say for perseverance. But I mean, there's only so long somebody can hold on to something, before they have to either reassess it or or let go of it. I haven't decided which, to be completely honest with you.
That pertains to the blog, correct?
It pertains to everything.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I've tried. I really have. And I don't want to let go of it. Like I said, we've been doing this for fucking 4 years. I've had a lot of fun with it. I don't know what needs to change. I don't know how we need to fix it. I mean, we need to fucking fix it though.
Yeah.
But I know one of the things that one of the ideas I've toyed around with, because it's a bitch, having Richard on. A, because of the time constraints for him.
It's
and
like
B,
what, two or 3 in the morning when he's doing this show, right? Where he's at.
Right. And B, because when he tends to be in the hangout, because he's in the UK. I mean, like right now, it's just you and me. We're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But usually when he comes in, it creates a little bit of a delay to some degree, especially when there's 3 of us in here, which can be irritating in and of itself. So I've toyed with the idea of using Richard Moore as a behind-the-scenes producer of the show, because I know he did. I know he wouldn't want to, and I wanted to discuss this with him on the air tonight, but he wasn't able to do the show tonight because he's fucking tired. It's fucking late at night for him. And I still want to have him to somewhat be a part of the show. I just don't know how much I want him hands-on in the fucking, on air.
Right.
But it's just been, it's been a fucking roller coaster ride. And it hasn't been fucking easy. I'm trying to figure it out. Especially with the way, like I said, the way things have changed for me. Try and fucking juggle all of this and work and everything else I have to fucking do. I don't, it's just a pain in the ass, which is why the blog fell off.
Right.
Because I didn't have the time to come home every fucking night and make 3 fucking posts. And
well, you were working, or I don't know if you still are, but you were working like 2 jobs and still doing the blog and
yeah,
that kind of shit.
For the longest time, I was working 2 jobs, still doing the blog, still doing the show, still trying to put out bedtime stories, still trying to do all the other bullshit that I was doing for the channel. And it's just, it becomes a pain in the fucking ass after a while when you're working that many hours and then coming home and people say, oh, you're just sitting at a fucking computer. Yeah, you try working fucking 2 jobs and then sitting down at a computer for hours and staring at a fucking screen and doing monotonous shit.
Plus, not to mention all the. I mean, people think, yeah, I could do a fucking podcast, and it doesn't take much. It does take something. I mean, it takes a lot.
Well, I mean, if any of the times that we've done any research for our stuff, or tried to put in like an immense amount of effort to do any of this shit, then yeah,
well, even
takes time.
At the most basic level, it takes a commitment. You want to do the. I mean, yeah, we don't tend to do it every week at this point because things come up and shit happens and whatever. But it's a big commitment to have a show that's gone on for 4 fucking years.
Well, yeah, and you have to plan around that, and you have to make sure that you're home or at the place of wherever you're fucking going to be broadcasting from. You have to make sure that you're available for that. There's lead up time to it. Then for me, the shit that I have to do afterwards. Which before, when I was gung ho with the fucking blog, it was crazy.
Oh yeah, you were fucking putting way too much time into it, to be honest. I mean, I'm not shitting on you or anything, but you put a lot of fucking time in. You had to produce the show because it was not live at the time, and come up with, how many articles were you coming up with a day on the blog? 4 or 5?
Oh no! Oh no! I was doing like fucking 9 or 12
Yeah, a day,
a day, usually 3 at a whack,
and then
um,
working on top of that
and
shit.
and working on top of it. And I don't want anybody to think that by me saying this, that I'm saying that I want to do away with the show. And it isn't that I want to do away with the show. It's a question of logistics for me, whether or not I can do the show and be fucking happy doing the
Right.
show. I mean, I gotta have fun fucking doing it. I mean, I did have fun with the Mick West podcast, the Mick West episode.
That was a good one.
Having him on was a lot of fun. Um, any of the times that we've been able to actually get interviews has been fun because it's a break from the monotony of what we do.
Right.
Letting somebody else tell their fucking story, trying to ask questions that are pertinent and relevant. Um, but and the other thing about this doing this type of thing is, and I've said this over the years, you look at this fucking shit long enough, and it's just you get to a point where you're like, what in the hell am I fucking doing?
Yeah, and I think we've both gotten to that point where it's like this. Some of the subject matters aren't that exciting to us anymore. I mean, you
Well,
always like your time travel shit, and I'll always like the UFO shit and the Bigfoot shit is like long gone for me. You know, it's just
well, I was thinking about this the other day, and I need a good uh, story or something, one of these cryptids or a theory or some. I need something to grab me, like the John Teeter story did.
right.
Like, in the John Teeter story, it fucking fell apart. Like, it just unraveled right in front of me. I mean, I can remember getting that CD, that very first CD that my roommate brought home. And it was an entire coast to coast episode with Oliver Williams, who runs the John Teeter website, the johnteeter.com, I believe, website, and telling, the story, how this all came to be, what it actually is, yada, 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 where all the blog posts came from, where all of his interaction with people came from, and, that he was this time traveler from the year 2036. I was fucking hooked. Hooked. I listened to the whole fucking thing. Then I sat down and started going through all the posts. And actually, I read through everything that was on the John Teeter website. I read it all. And I was fucking like, this is crazy. Time travel's real.
If
What the
somebody,
fuck?
by the way, if somebody's got a copy of that original uh episode of what was it? It was Art Bell at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Art Bell.
Because
But
I
there's
cannot find it.
but there is a dispute over whether or not that was the same fucking guy,
Right.
because I can't remember what the reason is why the dispute, but there was something there that just wasn't jiving quite right between the person who called into Art Bell and then the later on guy who was posting.
Mm-hmm.
Because Art Bell always had a bunch of fucking wackos that called in anyway.
Oh, and it was good shit. Art Bell show was
And
great.
and he'd just entertain it.
When he was on Coast to Coast. When he did, I don't know, he did another show after that. Art Bell's gone crazy in my opinion since then, but whatever. He
Oh
he,
yeah.
he thinks people are stalking him and the government, shuts him down all the time and whatever. Uh
As they should.
but yeah, but the stories were so good. Remember the first, I can't remember the guy's name, Bugs, or was it Bugs? The first time somebody came on and said they shot a Bigfoot and buried it and all that shit. That was a great story, man. The
I
one art,
I don't remember that one.
yeah, the guy passed away not that long ago. But anyway, The other Art Bell episode that I'm looking for, if anybody knows how to find it, is the very first time Todd Standing came on. I can find the second appearance, but I have never been able to find that first one. And I know it's got to exist out there somewhere. But
have you tried looking on YouTube?
I've looked everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, the first appearance of Todd Standing. I found the second one, but not the first one.
But it's been wiped from the inner tubes, Steve.
Well, I don't know if it ever got on, because it's so long ago, but
it's a conspiracy.
It probably is.
I'm firmly convinced. It's the Todd Standing conspiracy.
Yeah, well, he's another story altogether, but we won't get into that.
We won't get into Muppet Boy tonight.
No.
But yeah, so I at least wanted to relay to people that I know that I've been lackluster, and and some people have said that I'm spot on, whatever. To me, I'm fucking lackluster. I wish I could be not, and not have to put it on, but it has been what it's been.
Fuck, man, I've been lackluster from day one.
You've always been lackluster. Before day one.
I lack a lot of luster. There is no luster. I never had it.
Yeah. I agree with you. Completely.
So, I don't know.
But, like I said, it's something that I need to find, or I need to figure it out again.
If you're not having fun with it anymore, then
well, it's not that I'm not having fun. I still have fun, shooting the shit with you. It's having to set aside the fucking time for it, and not having all the shit that I used to have, that I want to be able to have, the space, the equipment. Not doing it with the same fucking computer that I used to. I don't have all the fucking sound bites and the sound clips. And I'm not able to run everything through.
You preferred it. You preferred it the old way before we went live, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I totally prefer it before we went live, because I was able to, not because I was able to manipulate it. I didn't manipulate it in any way.
You had more control.
I had more control over the production of the show.
Right. The final output, the quality of the final show.
Well, not even the final show, because I would literally just take what we recorded, cut
out dead air and shit.
No, not cut out the dead air. Cut out the beginning before I started the intro, and cut out the end after I stopped it. And which usually I'd stop it right after I would do the outro for the show. So that didn't have to. That didn't require much cutting. I never really edited much of the show, unless somebody said something's fucking stupid.
And there was what, maybe two times.
There was two time. There were two instances. One of which was when you did not want Marsha's name said on the air at one point.
Well, it's
and
she wasn't hip on it in the beginning. Now she's not so bad with that.
Yeah, and the other one was a comment made about Sharon Lee. So,
not by either you or I, or Richard.
No.
So there's only one other co-host.
Which was surprising, because of all the loudmouths on the fucking show that you would have expected it to come from, it should have come from me. But it
wasn't a bad. It was a bad comment, but it wasn't. It just wasn't something that it was appropriate for that for that time. So,
well, it just wasn't something that I would have wanted being said on air and being put out there. I was glad we were pre-recording at that time.
And we say a lot of shit. So for us to cut something out,
yeah, it's and it wasn't very often either. So, like I said, we only did it twice. Other than that, what you see is what you get, or what you heard was what you got, so to speak. But, you know.
Oh, man. Yeah,
It
there's
was
been times, man, and I agree with you. There's been times where I just like, it's like sometimes, and I'm not gonna be in it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, sometimes it's a drag, you know. Okay, I got to do the show tonight. And once I get on, I'm fine. It's just thinking about it ahead of time and getting some days. Now today I was ready, you know. Sometimes I'm not quite so ready.
And most times you are.
Most times I am, yeah.
Most times, you know, it gets to be Sunday, you know, you get situated, you get ready, you just fucking do it.
Right. Even if I'm not ready,
just like,
even if I'm not, yeah, I don't let that really. I tried not to ever let it show, you know. But there's times you can tell that, you know, I just say I don't give a fuck and just say whatever the fuck comes on my mind, and
that happens.
Yeah,
it's not always going to be the perfect fucking storm.
No, so
to speak.
And I think that's probably what helped the show along. Actually, is that we didn't hold much back, you know, the whole time. There was times in the beginning when we first started that we held a few things back, but you know, nowadays, fuck it.
I got to a point with the whole thing. I mean, I when I initially started it, the whole idea was for us to just say whatever we wanted, and yeah, we did, and in a lot of ways hold things back initially, but once the floodgates open, Christ,
Yeah.
we talked about pretty much anything.
I was afraid to say shit in the beginning. You know, I was afraid to piss people off. Well, fuck that, you know. If you don't like what I say, then fuck you. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? Do you sit back and not say what's on your mind about these different subjects and give this bullshit point of view, or do you tell the truth and say what you feel, say what's really on your mind about it, and let the chips fall where they fucking may?
By the way, we haven't mentioned, since we're recording this during the hurricane, we probably should mention that. Hold on one second. You carry on, Chris. I got to answer the door.
You got to answer the door. That's great. Awesome. So yeah, hopefully I'll try and make some changes and figure some shit out. I have been meaning desperately to get back into doing the blog and finding some ray of get up and go, I guess you could say, or fucking gumption to get back into doing that. I thought you were answering a door.
I did. The door's right there. I said, "Who is it?" And they said who they were, and I said, "Okay." And then we took care of business, and I'm back. I didn't even have to get out of my fucking chair.
That's pretty awesome, Steve.
I know the door is like literally right
there. There.
There's a little hole in my door because in my office,
it's a fucking glory hole. If you just stick your dick through.
There's the Chris I know.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh, he ain't gone away. I know that.
That's why That's why your house guest left.
No, no. It's so
why does this dick keep fucking sticking through this hole every night?
Yeah. Okay, whatever. No, it's a cat door. There's a cat door there. Anyway, Clay was sticking his head through there so he could ask me a question. So
I see.
And the cat, there's a hole in that door because when I shut the doors when I'm doing a show, the cats can still get in here and go down in the basement where the cat litter box is. So,
which is important. It's important.
It's important because you don't want cat shit on the floor.
This stuff is important.
Of course, they don't use the box that much, but whatever. They go outside because there's another big hole in the back door so that the dog can get out. My yard's fenced in. It's not a glory hole.
God. Keep telling yourself that, Steve.
Well, if that's a glory hole, then I got one hell of a fucking dick. I'm telling you what.
Maybe you just like to make sure there's enough space around it.
It'd be about, so that hole is like, let's see, what, 2 feet by 2 feet, at least in the back door.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Did I just say in the back door? I get it.
Insert anal joke here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Steve. I'm just fucking laying them up tonight.
I'm just, and I made it easy for you for the last 4 years. Made it really easy for you to just fucking trash me.
It doesn't take much.
I just open the door and you walk right the fuck through.
Yeah, as it should be.
It's what I signed up for.
Once I get the production back, I do think we should start doing the news again.
Yeah, I kind of miss it now.
Well, I know you and I had talked about it a while back, and you were kind of, I mean, we all go through our phases.
I got burnt out. I got burnt out on it. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it just wasn't that fun for me anymore. But now I kind of miss it. It's been a while, so we can bring that back. I have a second monitor now, so I can pull the news up on another monitor and just leave it there, and then it'd be real nice, real easy.
Yeah, I used to, in my old setup, I used to have 2 computers going.
Well, I have a little TV, but it has the, you can put your computer over to it and it can be made into a second monitor. So nice. I think I can make a couple monitors, but I don't know.
You could always pick up one at fucking Goodwill.
I could. But, the only ones that they ever have at Goodwill are the fucking tube monitors, the big giant fucking.
Yeah, the older ones.
Yeah. Fuck Goodwill. Fuck them. I don't want those. I do need a tube.
None of that shit for Steve Alcorn.
I do need a tube TV, though.
For what?
Well, it's a little known fact that when you have the zapper gun for an original Nintendo, it won't work on the newer TVs. You have to have a tube TV, something with the way the TV works. So the zapper guns don't work on new TVs. So to test out zapper games before I sell them, I cannot test them because I have the wrong kind of TV. I have the zapper gun, but it just doesn't do anything. Yeah.
That's some pretty interesting shit that you do, Steve.
I do a lot of interesting shit.
Go to Goodwill, yard sales, sell people junk.
There's nothing wrong with that. I provide a service. I think I've said this before. You need something. I go out and find it for you. You pay a premium to me, and I send it to you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in restrooms for other men.
No, I do not do that.
No, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Sorry, Steve. Steve, I did see it.
Did you?
This weekend. Yes.
I think that might be a movie that I'm actually going to go see.
The box office smash.
Now, and how was it?
117 million it made over the weekend. It was really good.
That's what I've heard from everybody who's seen it. They really enjoyed it.
It was a great adaptation. They changed the story around quite a bit, but it didn't bother me at all. I mean, they kept a lot of the key elements to the story that made it still come together really well. But they changed around a lot of like the encounters with the creature. I loved the guy that played Pennywise. I thought he did a great job in the role. And now, obviously, with the success of this one, they're going to do the second one, which will be when the kids are all grown up. But if you've ever read the book, um, the the parts where they're children is intermixed throughout the parts where they're adults. So what they did was they stripped the beginning part of the story as their kids and made it just its own thing, and then they're going to do the second part, which would be just when they're adults, which is very cool, and I like the way that they did it. There were some things that kind of pissed me off about it, but they're just petty.
Did they keep the basic premise of the story though? I mean, was it?
Oh yeah, the basic
Okay.
premise of the story is all there.
Because I hate it when they when you read a book and then you go see the movie and it's like totally the fucking opposite thing, or it's, you know, it's nothing like it.
Right.
Like they did that TV series, the book he wrote about Kennedy. I can't remember the name of it right now. My mind's, you know, the Stephen King book, but they did a TV series, and the TV series was nothing like the book.
Right.
I mean, it was somewhat, but it just wasn't. We quit watching the TV series because it was so far off the book, you know.
Right. The same thing happened to me with Game of Thrones. And everybody's like, well, it's its own thing. It's its own entity now. It's not, you know, the books are their own thing. And I was just like, yeah, and I read most of the books, so it ruined it for me. Sorry, I can't fucking watch the show anymore.
Yeah. So with this movie, you're saying that they stayed pretty true to the premise of the story anyway.
Yeah, and like I said, they kept a lot of the key elements. The movie opens the exact way the book opens. And it's creepy and it's great. And they kept a lot of those, a lot of the key elements of the story, even though they changed a shit ton. Like the movie takes place 20 years later than it does in the books. In the books, it happens in the 60s.
Yeah.
And this it's happening in the 80s. So
maybe they just couldn't find enough like 60s shit so they just threw it in the 80s because it's easier to find stuff.
I think it just worked well, and you know, I look forward to seeing what they do with the next one. Which I think it'll be good. If it's anything like this one was, it'll be fucking great.
Well, I know my wife is listening to the audiobook right now, and I think I might actually, I might actually listen to the audiobook. I'm not a huge Stephen King fan because to me, a lot of his stuff just drags on and on and on. There's so much crap, and I get it, but
oh, it's so good. I kind of want to spoil a part of the book for you, Steve.
Well, I already know the basic story.
The basic story.
But what the hell was that?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, somebody sent me a message. Well, that's nice.
Oh, a message.
Hey, I'm working here.
Oh, a message.
Yeah, I've recently started selling on OfferUp and Letgo and Facebook Marketplace, so local sales. So this is a Letgo message. Let's see what we got. What's he want? Oh, hi, I'm Alan Smith. Nice. Okay, what's he want?
Did you have to out him on our program?
Yeah, well, his name is Alan Smith. It's not like anybody's going to find him.
What if they do?
It's like the most common name.
I think that would be John Smith.
Well, I mean, okay, second most common name. No, that would probably be Steve Smith.
Got me, Steve.
I mean, I didn't tell you it was Alan Smith from Cleveland. Oops. It's even then. How many Alan Smiths are in Cleveland?
I don't fucking know.
I didn't say his name was John Periwinkle or anything like that. I'm actually able to find him.
Okay.
Just saying.
I think you just outed him.
I did. I outed him. Yeah, sorry, Alan Smith from Cleveland.
Any guy messaging you at 10:13 at night.
Listen,
is not looking for a fucking knick-knack, Steve.
It's not a knick-knack. It's a medical device. It's a nebulizer, if you must know.
Dig that hole deeper, motherfucker.
It's a nebulizer. People with asthma use them, and for other reasons. We recently came upon a storage unit that was full of. A guy was a quadriplegic, so it was full of medical supplies. I don't know if he passed away or went into a nursing, whatever. But we bought the store. My brother-in-law bought the storage unit, and I'm liquidating it for him, and so that's part of the storage unit. So I got to get rid of it.
You do good work, Steve.
You know, it was kind of like Storage Wars. It was a lot like that, except nothing like it.
You know, you used to be a fine investigator.
I am still. I just investigate. I investigate different things.
I don't know what happened to you, Steve. You used to be on the cutting edge. You used to find out what was going on, the who, what, when, where, how. You were the guy.
I was, and that's, you know, I just don't know.
What happened to you, Steve? What took you down?
Oh yeah, Moon Wolfblood says 11/22/63. That was the name of the book. I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head. It's been a while since I listened to it. Awesome book. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Oh, his books are great.
Yeah, but you know, they just drag on, and there's so much stuff in there that I don't know. I'd like to see them a little shorter. That's all. That's me. I just don't have the attention span to listen to an audio book for 6 days.
How dare you, Steve? How dare you tell Stephen King, the literary genius, to cut his books down in size? Why don't you read a few of his short stories, Steve, if that fucking bothers you that much?
His short stories, the ones that I've read, aren't that great.
What?
Yeah, they suck.
The Night Flyer is awesome. Library Policeman, amazing.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
I haven't. I think the library one.
The Mist is a fucking great short story. What was
the one that really bad one, that movie I watched? There was a really bad one. It was a movie. I didn't read the book. The book was probably phenomenal, but the movie sucked balls. It was horrible, but I can't remember which one it was. We talked about it.
The Langoliers?
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. We talked about it on the show.
The one where they're on the plane?
No, it was a different one.
A different one from that? That one was pretty bad. It was pretty fucking bad, Steve.
You know, I'm in this room like once a week. Well, I will be more because it's going to be my eBay room again. But if I come in
now that you scared the young man off with your cock through a hole.
You know, I'm not even. Why do I even bother? Maybe we should just end this.
Maybe.
Because it always ends up in a Steve cock joke every time.
I can't help it. You open yourself up for it, Steve. What do you want me to say?
I was really hoping Richard was on the show tonight because I had something for him, but I'll have to hold off until if he is again.
What was it? What do you have for him? Let's fucking do it right now, Steve. What do you got for him? He's gonna listen to the show.
Well, I can't say anything about it. I just have to do it. Richard will understand.
Okay.
But I don't know if anybody else will. I mean, it's kind of a thing between me and Richard here.
Hook me up, Steve.
Just hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Hook me up, buddy. Let me know what you got going on. Yeah, Steve doing stuff. Steve's got a Bigfoot costume now, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at you.
There we go.
You almost look like the creepy Burger King mask.
Well, this isn't a Burger King crown. I'm a little more sophisticated than a paper crown.
No. I'm talking about the creepy guy they have running around.
Oh, yeah.
The King
Burger
mask.
King. The actual king. Yeah.
You kind of look like that.
Who came up with that guy?
You got that I have free candy sign on the side of my van vibe.
whoever came up with that character in the beginning, I don't. I mean, from the beginning, the guy was creepy. It wasn't like, okay, it was cool back in the day or something, or that's how they drew characters or some shit. He was creepy from the fucking beginning, and they still
Yeah.
use the same guy.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, how do you know they're using the same guy? It's a fucking mask.
I mean, the mask, the same exact configuration.
Well, yeah, Steve. I mean, come on. You gonna change that shit up? You got the creepy fucking looking king.
Yeah, but doesn't that
and
scares
people
kids off?
and people are talking about it? That would be like changing the fucking mask from Michael Myers in Halloween.
I am glad that they changed the original Ronald McDonald, though. That was when Willard Scott did Ronald McDonald, he just wasn't. No.
What?
Didn't you ever see the original Ronald McDonald? He had like a cup on his head.
I saw like the old Ronald McDonald when I was a kid, I suppose.
No. This was the original. Willard Scott was the original. Well, was at least one of the original. You know, Willard Scott, the weatherman from the Today Show. He's not anymore, but he was. Yeah, he was the original Ronald McDonald. But anyway, if you go back and look at it, that was a creepy fucking looking clown.
Okay.
Yeah. But they changed it, and Burger King should have done the same thing.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that poignant fact, Steve.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm far more educated about
maybe he had
Ronald McDonald and Burger King.
Milkshake head or a French fry head or something. I can't remember. It was crazy looking. It just didn't look the same. He just totally different clown.
Did he eat children?
Well, it looks like he probably did.
Did he chase them around as different creatures?
You didn't know Willard Scott was the original Ronald McDonald?
No.
Huh.
I'm not up on my Willard Scott trivia.
Did you know that?
I know he wished happy birthdays to fucking old people.
Right. Did you know that Barry Manilow wrote a lot of McDonald's jingles?
He wrote the songs, Steve.
That made the whole world sing. You're right.
That's right. He fucking wrote the songs.
I'm a huge Barry Manilow fan, so I kind of know the Barry Manilow trivia, but
He was Barry Manilow. He had a beagle named Bagel.
But he wrote a lot of the well, you got to start as a jingle writer. So,
Steve, and in case you didn't know, he's gay.
No.
Yeah, Barry Manilow's gay.
Huh. Who'd have thunk it?
I know, right? Like, who the fuck would have been like, Barry Manilow is gay? I thought I thought that man was as straight as the day is long.
No, back in the day,
though. Yeah.
I actually have several Barry Manilow albums. I collect them.
Do you know?
So, yeah, I do. He wrote some good songs. Mandy. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Who doesn't love it?
Right. Copacabana.
Yeah, I could listen to the Copacabana all day, every day.
I hate that fucking song. Out of all the Barry Manilow, I hate that song.
His name was Rico. He was a dancer, Steve. What more do you fucking need?
That should have been the first clue as to Barry's sexuality.
Yeah, should it have been? He didn't. I don't care. Are you trying to say that he didn't need to just come right out and say it?
No, not after that song.
No, just based on the Copacabana.
Right. I mean, what straight guy would sing that song?
That said, "I love cock" to you.
It did.
Oh, okay. Whatever. I don't get it, but if you say so, Steve.
This crown is itchy. I don't know how what is it, Keith or Colin? Which one wears the crown? I don't even fucking know anymore.
I don't read the fucking comic strip, so I couldn't tell you. One of these days, though, Steve, it'll be like binge watching a TV show on Netflix. I can go back and read all of the comics at once.
Next week, I'm gonna wear a dunce cap.
What does that have to do with me going and binge reading all of the Keith and Colin
Go
stuff?
read go read the comics and you'll find out.
Oh, that makes total sense, Steve.
It will. Once you read the comics, you'll understand what the dunce cap is all about.
I don't give a fuck about your dunce cap. Don't make a reference to something I don't know about, Steve. We're having a discussion.
You do it to me all the time.
Just because you don't understand pop culture doesn't mean that I should understand some obscure schizophrenic British fucking comic strip.
The guy's a co-host on your show.
Yeah.
You should know what he's all about. I mean, don't you vet your co-hosts? No, you didn't vet me very well.
No, fuck no. Why would I do that? That's no fun, Steve.
Well, you know, to be honest, he didn't start the comic strip till after he started this show, but
right.
Well after, in fact.
He's going to be pissed. And where has it gotten him, Steve?
Nowhere. He doesn't do his blog anymore because of that strip. He spends so much time.
He doesn't do anything with it?
No, he just spends so much time in the paint program making shit-looking characters. Let's see, they look like giant turds, but that's what he does. Wastes his time on a comic strip. I like the comic strip. I'm the biggest fan
of the comic strip.
Sure, it's good.
I don't know. I've never read it.
Not even one?
Not even one. I haven't even checked it out. Steve, that's how much my give a fuck is busted.
When did you have a give a fuck? I want to know.
I did have a give a fuck. There was a point in time where I cared very much, and I spent a lot of time doing shit.
But, all right. That crown. Oh, the crown cost me 89 cents at the Goodwill, by the way.
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad.
Goodwill gets a bad rap. You know, Goodwill is a charity-ish. It's not, but it is. They don't actually give money to anybody.
Charity-ish?
Yeah, what they employ people with, you know, records, criminal records, some, and disabilities and things of that nature. So I enjoy shopping there.
Wow, that's very noble of you, Steve.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
You know, why don't you pat yourself on the back some more? Can you handle being the man that you are?
I am donating my
fine, upstanding citizen of the world, Steve Alcorn. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Alcorn. Give him a hand. Give him a round of applause, please. He does so much for his community. Finder of things.
I do. I do great finding things. I mean, I find the coolest things too.
He is a man who utilizes a glory hole.
Teddy bears. I find teddy bears. I find funky wall hangings from the 70s.
You're phenomenal, Steve.
They're metal. They're really cool, and they're worth some money.
How do people like stand to be in your greatness?
I don't know, but I found a medical transcription machine from the 80s.
Did you now?
Yes.
Does it work?
Yeah, I actually found two of them, and they both work. They have one's a micro cassette and one's a regular cassette. It's really cool.
That's wonderful.
Sell
that shit. Make some cash.
About $80 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we did it again.
Did what? What did we do, Steve?
Brought the eBay shit into it. We're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I think I did it this time.
What's it matter, Steve?
Repeatedly.
What's it really matter? Who gives a shit?
I found now. I did find a Texas Bigfoot Conference T-shirt at the Salvation Army the other day. I wore it yesterday. I was meant to wear it.
That makes you awesome.
Well, that ties it into the show because Bigfoot, Fortean, whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So there we go. Now I can say that I found a Bigfoot T-shirt, 2010 Bigfoot Texas Bigfoot Conference T-shirt.
I want you to find me a time travel T-shirt, Steve. I think it's very important.
I found a Blind Pig Records T-shirt today.
I want a time travel T-shirt.
Well, if I find one, you'll be the first to know. Would something with the TARDIS on it count? Is that time travel?
Sure, why not? Some time travel, Steve.
Because I see those sometimes.
Some time travel-y.
Okay.
Hook me up, Steve.
I will. Next one I find.
Do
you need it to actually make you travel in time, or just be a T-shirt?
I don't know. Technically, we all travel in time, Steve. 1 second per second into the future.
Oh, see? So the shirt will make you.
We're all time traveling. Just not at the speed we'd like to.
I am interacting with the chat room.
The direction. Why are you interacting with the chat room? There's no one there tonight.
Oh, and I'm on the wrong username. That Slick Flip is me on my other channel. Go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, I can see, Steve. I don't need you to tell me.
Well, it's an interesting show. I haven't uploaded anything in 3 months on that channel, but I plan on starting up again. Kind of like my regular channel where I haven't uploaded anything in, what, 6 months or more?
Yeah, you haven't done shit with that.
I know, and, you know, I'm lazy. Just like you, you're
such a gung-ho guy. Well, I'm struggling with finding out, you know, what it is that I really want to do.
Right. So you're struggling, and the YouTube thing just got to be overwhelming for me on doing this show, doing my own YouTube channel, I have like 3 YouTube channels, right, on different subjects. I had one where I talked about using my Cricut when I was doing that, which gets a ton of views, by the way, and subscribers all the time, and I've only done like 5 videos on it. And then I have a channel just for my eBay stuff, and then I have my regular channel, and then I do this show. So it gets fucking like you and the blog and work and all that shit. I mean, and at the time I was working still, you know, before I got into the working for myself. So it just got overwhelming, and that's why of course, I was never very consistent with it anyhow, but
got to be too much for you, Steve.
Well, on my regular YouTube channel, you know, I was doing investigative shit, and it takes a lot of fucking work. You know, just sit there and just come up with a theory. You got to research, and there were some videos that took me months before I could do a video.
You could be like some guys and just do no investigative work and just throw bullshit out there.
Well, that's what everybody else does. I don't want to be like everybody else.
Well done. It's that easy.
Huh. You mean to say that I can just say whatever the fuck I want? You know, like, yes, that's a Bigfoot, or yes, that's a UFO, or time travel is real, and just come up with some bullshit explanations, and people will watch it?
Yeah, Steve, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
See, I didn't want to be that way. I wanted to actually put work into it.
Why?
Why? That's what sets me apart.
Nobody else does, Steve.
Well, Bob does a little bit of work on his most of the time. A little bit. Tiny bit.
Bob sometimes puts some effort in. Most of the time, it's like next to no effort.
Well, because most of the time, what he does is
no. See, sometimes he puts a little production into it, and you get that video that I really enjoyed that he did recently. I can't remember which one it was, but it had a lot of production value. He fucking, you know, he was commenting over the other guy talking, and you know, it just came out very well. And then Bob does his other bullshit, which is just, you know, it's
Fodder.
cookie cut. It's
yeah.
fucking cookie cutter.
It's clickbait stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got to have a little bit of clickbait.
And I enjoy Bob's shit. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, he's got his own formula.
You just like the shit that he does where he puts more time into it. That's all.
Right, because that's where he catches me.
But
that's
even
where he catches me off guard. It's not his cookie cutter bullshit that I've heard 1,000 times before. It's something where I get to hear the guy that I talk to.
Right, but sometimes people like the cookie cutter bullshit too. Right?
Okay, so I'm wrong, Steve. I don't fucking know.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. You particularly, you're a production quality or production value guy. That's what you liked about our show before we went live. That's what you like about Bob's shit when he does it. That's what you like, you know.
Yeah.
Some people just don't care. You know, some people would rather just the quick shit and watch it and get it over with and have a little chuckle and move on. Just saying.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, Steve.
Sometimes you don't.
That's right.
Almond Joys have nuts.
Do they?
Yeah, mounds don't.
Yeah.
I had to go through this. You brought it up. I had to finish it. I cannot. We'll probably get like some sort of copyright strike for that.
Wow. You know, I couldn't monetize the last show.
What for?
Subject matter.
What was the subject matter?
9/11.
Really? They won't. Oh, they won't let you monetize 9/11 shit.
I guess not.
So change the title.
I can. I guess I can resubmit it, or I can try to explain why it should be able to be monetized.
I get it. I understand what they're doing. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand why.
Yeah. I just said, fuck it. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to bother to try to get it to monetize. I'm just going to.
Because we weren't like trying to capitalize on the events of that day. In fact, we were trying to do the opposite. At least I was on that show. And so, you know, people who are just trying to capitalize on the events of that day, then I'd be upset with that. Which is 99% of what you see out there on YouTube is people just trying to capitalize on the events of that day. And so I get why YouTube does it. I don't think I think that if they have a monetized platform, then everything should be monetized if you want it to be. Now, if you have hate speech and stuff, then that can be.
Well, I'm curious. I'm curious if YouTube sells the movie World Trade Center or Flight, whatever the fuck that movie was, which all is making money off of the events of the day.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. Those are good movies, right?
I've never seen either one.
So I think the Flight one, I think I've seen. The other one, I don't know. But like the documentary they did with where it wasn't really even a documentary. It was the live events of that day with the firefighters in the building and all that. I can't remember the name of that one, but that was like actual live footage of that day. Well, of course they're going to make money off of it, but I don't think they're trying to capitalize on that. They were just showing what happened that day in real time, you know?
Right.
So, and it's a very fucking hard movie to watch, or a hard documentary to watch, to be honest. I've only seen it once and that's all I can watch it. So that was a hard one. Now they did a movie on the flight that crashed into in Pennsylvania. They did a movie on that one.
Right. That's the other one I was talking about.
Now that movie I can watch.
I think that if, you know, what we did was just comment on what had happened. And I mean, Richard played devil's advocate was all he did, because he didn't believe any of the bullshit he was slinging.
Right. Of course not.
But
Hey, if you can't
I just
monetize it, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't argue too much about it.
yeah,
Just move on, right?
just gonna let it fucking go. It's not even worth trying to fucking get it back.
I have videos on my channel that I can't monetize, and rather than delete them, I leave them up. And my best video, the one that made me the most money in the beginning, was demonetized because there was a copyright claim on it, even though it's in the public domain, and we won't get into that. But instead of fighting it, I leave it on the channel. I get more subscribers from that video than any other video,
Right.
So
Yeah, it is what it
it's a
is.
loss. It's a loss leader, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
It is what it is. But like I said before, in closing out the show, it's not a very upbeat fucking show tonight. Sorry, it's just not.
I didn't. Before we do quit, I didn't get to finish what I was saying about Florida because my son interrupted me. But we have a lot of people that we know personally in Florida, so I wish them the best. And hope they made it out and everything's okay. I know that the storm wasn't quite as bad as they were thinking it could be, so that's a good thing. But even the people we don't like in Florida, I hope they and there's a few of those. That I hope that they did all right, got out of there, or at least stayed safe, so that we can fucking rag on them some more.
Yeah, I have some family in Florida, so I hope
I think
Fasano.
he's down on the bottom, ain't he? He's down near the Everglades, ain't he?
I have no idea where he is.
Yeah, I think he is, and that's like where they got hit the worst.
I know the man is really photogenic in some of his pictures.
Yeah, well, I know that he's down in the swamps and shit, and I think that's down near the Everglades, and they got hit pretty much the worst. Now, Key West, of course, got hit the worst because it's prior to actually getting into the mainland. But yeah, so and your former co-host, she evacuated, so that was good.
Oh, Skyla?
Yeah, she evacuated, so she got out of there. So, but anyway. So anyway, I just wanted to say we're thinking about that, and hopefully everybody got out.
Yeah, good times. Great oldies.
I watched a lot of that on the news today. It was kind of amazing to watch. They went. I was watching it when it hit Naples, and Naples kind of sounds like nipples.
Really?
Okay. Anyway, so the eye wall, which is the worst part of the
No. Don't just fucking traipse on like you didn't just say that.
I said nipples, and I laughed about it because I'm a kid. Oh, I should have brought him next show.
Child.
Next show, if there is one. Next show, I'm going to show you the best find ever I got at a yard sale, and I should have put that on tonight instead of the crown.
Oh God. Here we go. Anyhow.
Anyway, so the eye wall, and they were showing that, and then they got to the eye of the storm, and it was like totally calm. It was really kind of neat to watch. But go on.
Yeah. No, I don't even think we can after that.
Nipples.
Do you feel better about yourself? I mean, really?
Nope. If you give me 2 minutes, I'll run upstairs and get the item. And
no.
Can I do it on the next show?
Sure. Why not?
I'm gonna wear it the whole show, though. My wife says I'm not allowed to keep it.
Yeah. Is it a fucking ball gag?
No, it's not a ball gag.
Because if so, you can definitely wear it next show.
Well, yeah, but then I can't.
Yeah, there you go. Huh. You're fucking coming around. Do you remember that time we had Mick West?
I sort of.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. This has been episode 160 of the Fortean Slip. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment, subscribe. Check out Richard's blog. The link is below the YouTube video on YouTube. And what is that? The info section? Or I don't fucking know. Whatever it's called. Check out Matt Knapp at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads. Check out Dred Funn at dredfunn.com and youtube.com/Dred Funn. You can check out Steve's shit if you'd like. And hopefully we'll be back next week. I will try to discuss things with Richard before then and see what we got. Until then, see ya!